My precious child, I have seen the tears you shed when the world is quiet, and the moon is the only witness to your longing. I have counted every sigh that has escaped your lips as you walked through the empty rooms of your home, rooms you had hoped would be filled with the sound of laughter and the pitter-patter of small feet by now. I know the weight of the silence that greets you each morning, and I know the ache in your chest when you see another announcement, another celebration, another reminder of what you feel has been denied to you. But I am here to tell you, my beloved, that your prayers have not fallen on deaf ears, and your tears have not been forgotten in the dust. I have bottled every one of them. I was there in the doctor's office when the words felt like lead in your stomach. I was there in the quiet moments of the night when you asked me why, and felt as though the heavens were made of brass. I am not a distant God, watching from a cold throne. I am the Father who holds your hand, the Creator who knit your own soul together in your mother's womb, and I am the one who is even now preparing a miracle for you. The label of barren is not a name I have given you. It is a season, not a destiny. Just as the earth must sometimes rest in the cold of winter before the first green shoots of spring can break through the soil, your heart and your body have been in a season of preparation. Do not let anxiety rob you of your peace, for anxiety is a thief that seeks to steal the joy of the promise before it even arrives. I see your worries about the passing of time, the ticking of the clock that seems to grow louder with every birthday. I see your fears about the finances, the cost of the dreams you hold, and the uncertainty of how everything will come together. But remember, I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. I am the God of the impossible, the one who brought life to Sarah when her body was as dry as the desert and gave a son to Hannah when her heart was broken by years of waiting. I am doing a new thing in you, and even now it is springing forth. Can you not perceive it? I am touching the very depths of your being. I am speaking life into the places that have felt cold and empty. I am aligning the stars and the seasons to bring about a union of spirit and flesh that will leave the world in awe of my goodness. This child you crave is not just a wish. They are a soul I have known since before the foundations of the world, a soul I have specifically chosen to be placed in your care. I am softening the soil of your womb, making it a garden of life where my breath will ignite the spark of existence. You have felt lonely in this journey, surrounded by people who do not understand the depth of your hunger for motherhood, but you have never been alone. I have been your constant companion, whispering hope when the world shouted despair. Release the heavy burden of trying to control the outcome. Lay down the charts, the schedules, and the frantic searching for answers in the physical realm. Look to me. Lean into my chest and hear the rhythm of my heart, for it beats with unconditional love for you. This miracle will not be a result of your striving or your perfection. It will be a testament to my grace. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out a blessing that your home will not have room enough to contain. Your arms will not be empty forever. The nursery you have envisioned in your heart is being prepared in the spirit, and soon, very soon, the silence of your home will be broken by a cry that signals a new beginning. I am removing the spirit of lack and the shadow of disappointment. I am replacing them with a garment of praise and a spirit of rejoicing. Trust in my timing, for my timing is perfect, and I make all things beautiful in their season. You are my cherished daughter, and it is my good pleasure to give you the desires of your heart. Rest now, my child. Sleep in the assurance that the author of life is writing a beautiful new chapter in your story, and the ink is my very own love. Your miracle is not just a possibility, it is a promise, and I am faithful to fulfill every word I have spoken to you. The wait is coming to an end, and the joy that is coming will far outweigh the sorrow you have endured. Believe, only believe, for the breath of life is moving toward you now. I have seen you standing at the threshold of that small room, the one you keep closed to keep the dust of disappointment from settling too deeply. I was there when you tucked the tiny, hand-knitted booties into the back of the drawer, hidden beneath layers of linen, so you wouldn't have to face the not yet every morning. I felt the tremor in your hand when you signed the card for another friend's baby shower, the ink blurring slightly because your eyes were filled with the salt of unspoken questions. You felt as though you were a spectator in the garden of life, watching others gather fruit while you held a basket of dry earth. But I tell you, the earth of your soul is not dry. It has been tilled by the plow of perseverance, and the seeds of your prayers have been germinating in the deep, dark soil where no human eye could see. Remember the morning you sat on the porch, watching the sun crest over the hills, wondering if the light would ever find its way into the shadowed corners of your heart. In that quiet hour, I was already weaving the tapestry of this new soul. I am not just a god of the big picture. I am the god of the microscopic, the one who speaks to the very cells of your being. I have heard your silent why as you walked through the park, watching toddlers chase pigeons. I have bottled every tear that fell into your tea as you sat in the kitchen, the house too quiet for your liking. This silence was never meant to be a punishment. It was a sanctuary where I was strengthening your spirit for the weight of the glory that is about to arrive. The doctors gave you numbers and percentages, cold statistics that felt like iron bars around your hope. But I am the one who invented the biology they study. I am the architect of the womb and the weaver of DNA. While they looked at scans and charts, I was looking at the eternal design I set in motion before the foundations of the world. I am aligning the rhythms of your body with the heartbeat of heaven. Do you feel the subtle shift? It is the rustle of wings, the stirring of the waters, that sense of peace that has recently begun to settle over you like a soft blanket is not an accident. It is the shadow of my hand resting upon you, shielding you from the arrows of doubt that the world tries to fire. Think back to the withered lily you almost threw away last spring, the one you forgot to water for weeks. You were about to discard it, but then you saw a tiny, stubborn speck of green pushing through the parched surface. You breathed a prayer then, a whisper that said, "If this can live, maybe I can too." That was not just a plant, my daughter. It was a signpost. Just as I directed the life within that bulb to respond to the light, I am directing the life within you. The seasons of barrenness are necessary for the roots to go deep, so that when the harvest comes, the tree is strong enough to bear the weight of the fruit. Your home is changing even now. The atmosphere of waiting is being replaced by an atmosphere of arrival. I want you to walk through your hallways and imagine the sound of pitter-patter on the hardwood. I want you to smell the scent of lavender and baby powder in the air, for I am filling the atmosphere with the fragrance of fulfillment. You have been a mother in spirit for a long time, nurturing the dreams of others, pouring out your love into the children of your community, and acting as a wellspring of wisdom for those around you. Now that nurturing spirit is finding its specific landing place. I know the exhaustion that comes from being brave. You have worn a mask of strength for so long, smiling through the questions of well-meaning relatives and the insensitive comments of strangers. You can take that mask off now. In my presence, you don't have to be the woman who has it all together. You can be the little girl who simply needs to be held. I am holding you. I am the father who sees the secret ache and the mother who comforts the brokenness. The barren womb is a term used by men, but in my vocabulary, it is called the place of preparation. I am turning your not enough into a more than enough. Your story is not a tragedy of lack. It is an epic of restoration. I have watched you in the midnight hours, those times when the world is draped in velvet black, and the only sound is the ticking of the clock, echoing like a heartbeat you haven't yet felt outside your own. I saw you sitting by the window last Tuesday, watching the rain streaks create maps on the glass, wondering if you were lost in a wilderness with no exit. I was there, sitting in the chair beside you, whispering to your spirit that the wilderness is where I do my greatest work. It was in the desert that I provided manna. It was in the dry places that I brought water from the rock. Your life is not a wasteland, though the echoes in those empty rooms might have tried to convince you otherwise. I am filling those echoes with the laughter of 1,000 tomorrows. I remember the yellow dress you saw in the shop window 3 months ago, the one you stared at for a long moment before turning away with a sigh. I saw the way your heart pinched, a physical pang of not for me. But I say to you, keep that image in your mind, for I am the God who clothes the lilies of the field, and I am the God who will clothe your offspring in joy. Your hands, which have been clenched in prayer and sometimes in frustration, are being softened. They are being prepared to support a tiny head, to wipe away a first tear, to clap in delight at a first step. This is not a dream that will fade upon waking. This is the awakening of a promise that has been dormant. The biological clocks of earth are subservient to the eternal clock of my throne. I am resetting the gears. I am recalibrating the flow of life within your veins. Every hormone, every fiber, every microscopic spark of life is being commanded to come into order. I am the great physician, and my prescription for you is hope, taken daily without reservation. Do you remember the old oak tree in the backyard, the one that looked dead after the harshest winter? You thought it was gone, but then, in a week when the frost was still on the ground, one tiny bud appeared. That bud was a herald. You are in your herald phase. Small signs are beginning to appear, a sudden warmth in your spirit, a dream that felt more like a memory, a stranger's kind word that felt like a direct message from my lips. Pay attention to these whispers. They are the scouts sent ahead to announce the arrival of the kingly gift I am bringing. You have felt like Sarah, like Hannah, like Elizabeth, women who walked the long, dusty road of yearning until their names became synonymous with my faithfulness. You are joining their ranks, not just in their struggle, but in their spectacular after. The after is coming, and it will be so radiant that the before will seem like a dim memory, a shadow that vanished when the sun reached its zenith. I am deepening your capacity for joy by allowing the vessel of your soul to be stretched. It hurts to stretch, I know. It feels like breaking, but you are not breaking, you are expanding. You are becoming a wider, deeper ocean of love, capable of holding the vastness of the miracle I am about to submerge you in. Rest in this expansion. Don't fight the stretching. Let my peace be the emollient that soothes the transition. I am with you in the wait, but the wait is no longer a stagnant pond. It is a river flowing swiftly toward the sea of fulfillment. Can you hear the water rushing? It is the sound of life making its way to you, navigating every obstacle, overcoming every no the world has ever shouted at you. My yes is the final word, and it is echoing through the corridors of your future even now. Look now at the quiet corners of your home, those spaces you have reserved for a presence you cannot yet see. I have watched you walk past that empty door, the one you keep shut to keep the ache from spilling out into the hallway. I have seen the way you avert your eyes from the tiny garments in shop windows, not because you lack hope, but because the hope has become a flame so intense it threatens to consume you. This is the sacred tension of the in-between, the place where faith is forged in the furnace of silence. You have felt the coldness of clinical reports, the sterile words of men who measure life by statistics and probabilities. But I am the God of the impossible, the one who speaks to the dust and calls it sun, the one who breathes upon the dry bones and says, live. Your body is not a broken vessel. It is a sanctuary I am preparing for a miracle that will defy the logic of the world. Do not look at the calendar with dread. counting the months like losses. Each day that has passed has not been a delay, but a deepening. I am working beneath the surface of your awareness, much like the seed that must first break open in the dark, cold earth before it can reach for the sun. The breaking of the seed is not its end. It is its true beginning. I am breaking the husks of your expectations so that the life within can emerge in its full, unbridled strength. Think of the quiet nights when you laid your hand upon your belly and whispered into the void. Those whispers were not lost in the ether. They were seeds planted in the soil of my heart. I have watered them with my own tears of compassion. I have tended to them while you slept in the exhaustion of your longing. Do you remember the morning you woke up and felt a strange, inexplicable peace, as if a great weight had been lifted, though nothing in your external world had changed? That was the moment I set the wheels of your miracle into motion. That was the moment the decree was signed in the heavens. Your womb is being awakened. The dormant gardens are being stirred by the first warm breezes of a spiritual spring. I am the gardener, and I do not plant in vain. I do not cultivate a desire only to let it wither. The longing you feel is the evidence of the promise. I do not give the thirst without the intention of providing the water. And oh, the water is coming. It will be a flood of joy that washes away the years of dryness, the years of feeling less than, the years of wondering if you were forgotten. You were never forgotten. You were being hidden in the shadow of my hand, protected from the premature birth of a blessing that needed the fullness of time to be perfect. Consider the tapestry I am weaving. Every thread of sorrow you have known is being woven into a pattern of incredible resilience. When you hold this child, and you will hold this child, the touch of their small hand against your cheek will be the signature of my love upon your life. You will look into their eyes and see the reflection of the long nights you spent in prayer, and you will realize that not a single tear was wasted. They were all gathered into my bottle, transformed into the very life force that will sustain this new soul. I am even now preparing the physical tabernacle for this miracle. I am aligning the cycles of your body with the rhythms of my grace. I am speaking to the cells, to the hormones, to the very atoms of your being, commanding them to come into harmony with the life I am bringing forth. Do not fear the reports of the world. Do not fear the ticking of the clock. I am the Lord of time, and I am stepping outside of its constraints to bring you into your season of harvest. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere of your home? There is a sweetness beginning to permeate the air, a scent of promise that lingers in the rooms where you once wept. This is the fragrance of life. It is the announcement of a guest who is no longer a stranger but a part of your very flesh. I am teaching you a new song, a song of the expectant heart. It is not a song of begging but a song of thanksgiving. Begin to sing it now, even in the silence. Sing it to the empty room. Sing it to the quiet nursery. Sing it to the heavens. Your voice is the bridge over which this miracle is walking. I am your strength when you feel you can no longer wait. I am your hope when the shadows grow long. I am the yes that silences every no. This journey has been long, yes, but the destination is more glorious than you can imagine. We are moving together toward the moment of the first cry, the moment when the barrenness is swallowed up in the victory of life. Rest in me. Lean into the stretching. The expansion is almost complete, and the filling is about to begin. Every time you felt a pang of jealousy when seeing another's joy, I saw the hidden wound and I poured my oil into it. I did not judge your struggle. I used it to carve out a place in your soul that only this specific miracle could fill. There is a depth to your future motherhood that could only have been born from this length of waiting. You will not be a mother who takes the small things for granted. You will be a mother who sees the divine in every breath, the sacred in every midnight waking. I am refining you into a vessel of extraordinary patience and empathy. The women who come after you, those who will find themselves in the same dusty road of yearning, will look to you and see the proof of my word. You are becoming a living testimony, a beacon of hope for the hopeless. Your story is not just for you. It is a gift for the world, a reminder that I am still the God who opens the womb and makes the barren woman a joyful mother of children. I am touching the very root of your identity, changing your name from waiting one to blessed one. I am clearing the path of every remaining obstacle. Watch for the small signs, a sudden interest in things you had put away, a renewed strength in your physical body, a lightness in your dreams. These are the ripples on the surface of the water, telling you that the great stone of my promise has been cast into the lake of your life. The ripples are reaching the shore. The time of your visitation is at hand. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. I have overcome the world, and I have overcome the limitations of your circumstances. My love is the master key that opens every locked door. I am turning the key now. Can you hear the sound of the tumblers falling into place? It is the sound of your destiny unfolding. It is the sound of a new beginning, a genesis in the midst of your history. You are beloved, you are chosen, and you are about to be filled. Look at the corner of your room, where the light falls in a golden rectangle at 3 in the afternoon. Do you remember when you sat there, your face buried in your hands, asking why the seasons turned for everyone but you? I was there, catching every tear in a bottle of remembrance. Those tears were not wasted. They were the irrigation for the miracle that is now germinating in the secret places of your soul and body. I have seen the way you avoided the baby aisle in the market, the way your heart constricted at the sound of a stroller's wheels on the pavement. I have felt the ache in your arms when you held another woman's child and then had to hand them back, feeling the hollow space in your own chest grow wider. That hollow space was being expanded not to mock you, but to make room for a joy that will be commensurate with your long wait. I am the architect of the impossible, and I am redrawing the blueprints of your physical being. Even now, I am speaking to the dormant places, commanding the life force to surge through the dry riverbeds of your anatomy. You will notice a shift in your appetite, not just for food, but for hope. You will find yourself lingering over those yellow knitted booties you tucked away in the cedar chest 3 years ago, the ones you almost threw away in a moment of despair. Do not throw them away. Bring them out. Wash them. Let the scent of sun and detergent be the first scent of your new season. I am the one who remembers the unspoken vows you made in the dead of night. I am the one who heard the silent, if only that punctuated your every breath. Now I am replacing if only with it is done. Walk through your house and see it with new eyes. That spare room, the one with the boxes of old books and broken lamps, is no longer a graveyard for things forgotten. It is a sanctuary for things to come. I am giving you the strength to clear the clutter, both in your home and in your mind. The shadows of doubt that have lived under your roof for so long are being chased away by the rising sun of my favor. Can you feel the warmth beginning to stir in your belly? It is more than just a feeling. It is the quickening of a promise. I am aligning your cycles with the rhythm of the heavens. I am balancing the delicate chemistry of your life, making every hormone and every heartbeat synchronize with the heartbeat of my purpose. You have felt like a tree in winter, bare and brittle, but the sap is rising. The buds are invisible to the human eye, but they are there, ready to burst into a riot of green. Think back to the words of the scoffers, the clinical reports that used words like depleted and unlikely. I take the unlikely and make it the undeniable. I take the depleted and I fill it to overflowing. Your body is not a failure. It is a miracle in progress. I am breathing into your lungs a new song. I want you to sing it, even if your voice trembles at first. Sing to the child of your spirit before you hold the child of your flesh. Your praise is the midwife of your miracle. I am healing the trauma of the negative tests, the cycles of grief that came every month like a mourning shroud. I am stripping away the shroud and dressing you in the garments of praise. You will look in the mirror and see a glow that no cosmetic can provide. It is the luminescence of a woman who has been visited by the Most High. The neighbors will wonder at the change in your step. Your husband will see a softness in your eyes that he thought was lost forever. I am restoring the years that the locust has eaten, the years of feeling less than, the years of feeling forgotten. You are at the center of my attention. I am weaving your story into the great tapestry of those who believed when there was no reason to believe. Your faith has been like a small candle in a vast cavern, and I am about to set it upon a hill. Do not be surprised when your dreams become vivid, filled with the sound of laughter and the smell of a newborn skin. These are not cruel illusions, they are glimpses through the veil. I am pulling the curtain back. I am showing you what I see. I see a cradle. I see a celebration. I see a name written in the book of life that is about to be called into the earth. Prepare your heart for the weight of glory. It is a heavy glory, a solid reality that will ground you in the truth of my faithfulness. You are not a spectator in the lives of others anymore. You are the protagonist of a wonder. Every delay was a preparation. Every no was a not yet leading to this now. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and in this genesis of your motherhood, I am doing a work that will cause the ears of everyone who hears it to tingle. Rest in me. Be still and know that I am God, and I am your Father, and I am the giver of every good and perfect gift. The gift is wrapped in my love, tied with the ribbons of my timing, and it is being delivered to your door. I am even touching the heart of your partner, removing the quiet exhaustion that had settled into his bones. Together, you will stand in awe. Together, you will witness the breaking of the drought. The rain is coming, heavy and sweet, and your garden, the garden of your womb and the garden of your life, is about to bloom in ways you never dared to imagine. Hold on just a little longer. The dawn is not just coming, it is already breaking over the horizon. Look at the corner of that room you have kept closed, the one where the dust has gathered on the shelf of hope. I have seen you stand at that door, hand on the frame, wondering if the space would ever be filled with more than just your quiet prayers and the shadows of what-ifs. I have watched you buy that single tiny outfit in a moment of reckless faith, only to hide it away in the back of a drawer, because the sight of it hurt too much on the days when the silence was loudest. Take it out. Touch the fabric. Let your fingers trace the seams, for I am weaving together the cells and the spirit that will soon fill those clothes. I am the weaver of life, and I do not leave my tapestries unfinished. Do you remember the nights you lay awake, the moonlight slicing through the blinds, tracing the patterns on the ceiling while you counted the years that had slipped through your fingers like sand? I was there in the dark, collecting every sigh. I saw your husband late last night, staring at the moon through the kitchen window, his heart a heavy stone of unspoken longing. I am softening that stone even now. I am infusing his spirit with a new hope that he cannot yet explain, a quiet confidence that will replace the weary resignation he has carried to protect you. When he looks at you tonight, he will see a radiance that transcends the physical, a glow of the promise I have ignited within your soul. The doctors spoke to you in the language of statistics, of cold percentages, and the finality of biological clocks. They looked at the maps of your body and saw a desert, but I look at the same landscape and see a valley ready to burst into bloom at the first kiss of rain. Do those who measure the womb think they can measure the reach of my hand? I am the one who breathed life into the dust of the ground and commanded the stars to find their places in the void. I am moving through your systems now, harmonizing the delicate rhythms of your body, tuning every fiber of your being to the frequency of creation. I am the God of Sarah, who laughed in her old age, and the God of Hannah, who wept until her lips moved without sound. Your laughter is coming, and it will be louder than your weeping ever was. Think of the first time you will feel that fluttering, not a butterfly, but a life, a secret signal from within that the miracle has taken root. Think of the weight of the car seat as you walk through your front door for the first time as a mother, the heavy, wonderful burden of a prayer answered. I am already in that moment, waiting for you. I know the stings of the baby showers you attended with a forced smile, the way you clutched your purse and made a quick exit when the conversation turned to milestones and first steps. I saw the tears you wiped away in the car on the drive home, the steering wheel slick beneath your palms. Those tears were not lost, they were seeds. They were not wasted, they were watered by my grace, and the harvest is now burgeoning beneath the surface of your reality. I am opening the gates of your body. I am speaking to the barren places and saying, be fruitful. I am speaking to the dormant cycles and saying, awaken. This is not a mere biological event. It is a sacred appointment. You have been chosen for this specific soul, a child who needed a mother of your strength, your depth, and your unwavering persistence. The delay was not a punishment. It was a tempering. You have been forged in the fire of longing so that you might hold this gift with a reverence that others might never know. Your arms are being prepared for the strength required to hold a miracle, and your heart is being expanded to contain a love that will mirror my own. I am even now whispering to the angels to prepare the celebration. There is a shift in the atmosphere of your home. The air feels thicker with expectation, doesn't it? The light in your hallway seems to catch a new gold at sunset. These are the signs of my presence, the precursors to the manifestation. Do not look at the calendar anymore, look at me. The calendar is a human invention, but I am the Lord of time. I can compress years of waiting into a single moment of conception. I can restore the years the locusts have eaten. I am the God of the second wind, the God of the 11th hour. Your story is not a tragedy of lack, it is a masterpiece of provision. I am painting the final strokes of this chapter, and they are vibrant with life. I am touching the very blueprint of your DNA, ensuring that every detail is perfect, every stitch is secure. Your partner will find his strength renewed as he watches the transformation. He will no longer feel the need to walk on eggshells around the subject of the future. The future is no longer a ghost that haunts you. It is a guest that is arriving. I am teaching you a new song, a melody of fulfillment that will replace the dirge of disappointment. Can you hear the faint echo of it? It is the sound of a heartbeat, steady and strong, echoing the rhythm of my own heart for you. You are loved with an everlasting love, and that love is about to become flesh and bone. Be patient just a little longer, for the quickening is at hand. The drought is broken, the clouds are heavy, and the first drops of the miracle are already falling on the parched earth of your life. Open your heart wide, for you are about to receive more than you ever dared to ask. Behold, the atmosphere of your home is shifting from the heavy fog of expectation to the clear, crisp air of arrival. You have spent years preparing the cradle of your soul, and now, the physical world must align with the spiritual reality I have already established. Think of the quiet corners of your house, the room at the end of the hallway that you often pass with a lowered gaze, the door you sometimes keep closed to buffer the ache. For too long, that space has felt like a boundary between your hope and your heartache. But I am turning that threshold into a gateway of joy. I see you, even now when you pause in the grocery aisle, your hand hovering over items you are not yet ready to buy, your heart fluttering with a mixture of desire and defense. I see the way you look at other mothers, not with envy, though the world might call it that, but with a deep, ancestral recognition, a cry from deep calling unto deep. I am answering that cry. I am the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, and I am the master weaver now, taking the silver threads of your prayers and the golden threads of my promises to create a tapestry of new life within you. Your physical body is being prepared like a temple. Do you feel the warmth in your center? It is not merely the sun through the window. It is the fire of my creative breath. I am recalibrating your hormones, balancing the delicate chemistry of your being, and clearing the pathways that have felt blocked or dormant for seasons. To the doctors, it may seem like a statistical anomaly, a sudden change in charts and readings that they cannot explain with logic alone. But you will know. You will recognize the signature of my hand in the sudden alignment of things that were once askew. Your beloved, the one who has held your hand through the nights of weeping, I am touching his heart as well. I have seen his silent sacrifices, the way he swallowed his own grief to be the pillar you needed when your own strength felt brittle. I am rewarding his faithfulness. His strength will no longer be a shield against disappointment, but a shelter for the life that is coming. Together, you will enter a season where the conversations change at your breakfast table. You will move from if and when to how and here. The steam from your tea will no longer rise into a vacuum of silence, but into a space filled with the humming of a lullaby you haven't yet learned, but which your spirit already knows. I am the God who remembers. I remembered Sarah in her old age. I remembered Hannah in her bitterness of soul. And I have remembered you in your quiet, stubborn perseverance. Every month that brought a sigh of "not yet" was a month where I was deepening the soil of your character, making it rich enough to sustain the great blessing I am planting. The fruit of your womb will be a testament to the fact that I am not deaf to the whispers of the brokenhearted. This child will carry a portion of the peace you have fought so hard to maintain. They will have your eyes, yes, but they will have my light shining through them. I am even now selecting the temperament, the gifts, and the destiny of this little one. They are not an accident of biology. They are an intentional act of my will. Look at the trees outside your window. They do not struggle to bloom when the season is right. They simply yield to the life within them. Yield now. Let go of the tension in your shoulders and the tightness in your chest. The work is being done in the secret place. In the darkness of the soil, the seed is breaking open. You cannot see it yet with your physical eyes, but your spirit knows. Your spirit is already beginning to dance. I am the Lord of the harvest, and your fields are turning white. I am removing the labels that have been placed upon you by others and by yourself: barren, unfruitful, late. I am replacing them with blessed, mother, and favored. Your identity is being rebranded by my grace. This is not just about a baby. It is about the restoration of your joy, the vindication of your faith, and the demonstration of my power in the places where human strength has failed. So, prepare the space. Not just the room at the end of the hallway, but the room in your heart for a love that will overwhelm you. You have been a mother in spirit for a long time, nurturing the hopes of others and tending to the gardens of your friends. Now it is time for your own garden to burst into color. I am sending the rain, and it is a gentle, persistent rain that will soak deep into the roots of your life. There is no more need for the dry, parched prayers of desperation. Begin to pray the prayers of gratitude. Begin to speak to the life that is forming, even before the tests confirm what my spirit is telling you. You are entering the sanctuary of fulfillment. I am the God who moves in the stillness of the midnight hour. When the world is asleep and the doubts try to creep back in like shadows under the door, I am there, a wall of fire around your mind. I am whispering to your cells to awaken. I am speaking to the tiny vessel that will carry this new soul, commanding it to be strong, to be supple, to be a perfect sanctuary. Think back to the times you walked through the park and saw the strollers, the soft laughter of toddlers, and the way you had to turn your head to hide the stinging in your eyes. Those moments were not lost on me. I was there, counting every pulse of your heart. I am turning those memories into the foundation of your gratitude. Your joy will be deeper because your wait was longer. Your appreciation will be a flame that never goes out. I am even attending to the small details you haven't thought of, the way the moonlight will fall across the crib, the specific scent of the baby's skin that will become your favorite perfume, the way your partner's voice will drop an octave when he first whispers hello to his child. I am restoring the rhythm of your sleep. You will no longer toss and turn with the what-ifs. You will rest in the I am. The blueprint is complete. The foundation is laid. The structure of this miracle is rising. Every tear you ever shed over an empty cradle has been transformed into a drop of dew for the morning of your joy. You are not just a woman waiting for a child. You are a woman being crowned with the honor of bringing a piece of heaven to earth. I am removing the heaviness of the past years. I am erasing the trauma of the negative results and the cold, clinical rooms that lacked the warmth of my presence. I am making this experience a sacred journey, a pilgrimage of love. Your body will feel the change soon, a subtle quickening, a sense of being full even before the physical signs appear. Trust that sensation. It is the witness of my spirit to yours. I am the God of the impossible, but to me, this is the most natural thing in the world, to give life where there was none, to bring light where there was darkness. You are my beloved, and your season of barrenness is officially over. The decree has been issued in the courts of heaven, and the manifestation is making its way to your earthly reality. Walk with your head held high, for you carry the promise of the Most High. The world will see and marvel, and they will know that it was not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit. The miracle is not just a destination. It is the journey you are on right now. Every breath you take is a step closer to the first breath of your child. I am in every heartbeat, in every cell, in every moment of this unfolding wonder. Stay in the peace. Stay in the light. The door is open, and the guest is arriving. Even now, as you sit in the quiet of your home where the afternoon sun traces golden patterns across the floorboards, I am hovering over the very spaces that once felt haunted by silence. Do you remember the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, counting the shadows, wondering if my ears were closed to your cry? I was there then, as I am here now, gathering every wordless ache into my palms. The rooms of your house, which have felt like vast, echoing chambers of what might have been, are being recalibrated. The atmosphere is shifting from the stale air of expectation to the crisp, electric charge of a promise fulfilled. I am moving through your hallway, touching the door frames, sanctifying the threshold where small feet will soon patter. That spare room, the one you often keep closed because the sight of its emptiness felt like a physical weight against your chest, open it today. Not with a sigh of longing, but with the deep, resonant breath of a mother who knows her guest is on the way. I am clearing out the dust of old grief. I am replacing the heavy curtains of sorrow with the light of a new dawn. Look at your hands. They have been empty for so long, held out in a posture of begging, but I am turning them over. I am making them strong and supple, preparing them to cradle the weight of a miracle that will feel heavier and more real than any doubt you ever harbored. There is a specific rhythm I am setting in your heart, a maternal cadence that will soon sync with the tiny, flickering heartbeat of the life I am igniting within you. You have felt broken for so long, as if the machinery of your womanhood had failed a divine test. My child, there was no failure, only a timing that was hidden in the folds of my wisdom. I am the one who designed the intricacies of your anatomy. I know every vessel, every hormone, every microscopic spark of life. I am adjusting the chemistry of your being, balancing what was skewed, and awakening what was dormant. The medical reports that sat like heavy stones on your kitchen table, I am rolling them away. The labels of unexplained and secondary and barren are being dissolved in the ocean of my mercy. They were merely human attempts to define a mystery that was always under my jurisdiction. Do you feel that warmth? It is not just the sun through the window. It is the fire of my spirit settling in your center, creating a sanctuary. I am knitting together a soul of immense purpose. This child is not an afterthought. This child is a chosen arrow, polished and prepared for a specific moment in time. Every feature of their face, every quirk of their personality, has been curated in the halls of eternity. I am matching their spirit to yours, ensuring a bond that will transcend the physical. In the coming days, you will notice a change in the way food tastes, a shift in how your body moves through the world. You will find yourself smiling at strangers for no reason, a secret joy bubbling up from your depths like a hidden spring. This is the fullness I promised. It is the physical manifestation of the spiritual truth that you are no longer a desert. You are an oasis. Think back to the baby clothes you tucked away in the back of the closet, the ones you bought in a moment of fleeting hope and then hid because the sight of them stung too much. Go to them. Touch the fabric. Let the scent of cedar and old dreams remind you that I never forget a seed sown in faith. Those garments are no longer relics of a painful past. They are the wardrobe of a very near future. I'm even moving in the heart of your partner, softening the edges of his weariness, replacing his quiet stoicism with a vibrant, expectant hope. I am healing the strain that the years of waiting put upon your union. This miracle will be a bridge, not just a gift. It will knit your two souls together in a way that only shared suffering and shared triumph can. You will look at each other across a table filled with the chaotic, beautiful noise of a family, and you will remember this silence as the moment before the song began. I'm also healing your memories of the cold, clinical rooms, the white coats, the sterile smells, the hushed voices discussing your condition, as if you were a problem to be solved. I was in those rooms with you, though you could not see me through the veil of your tears. I saw the way you flinched at the sight of another positive announcement on your screen. I saw the way you held your breath in grocery aisles filled with the scent of baby powder. I am washing those triggers away. I am replacing the trauma of the no with the overwhelming, thundering yes of my kingdom. Your body is responding to the decree of the Father. The cells are aligning. The gates are opening. The drought is broken, and the sound of abundance is rising from the earth. You are about to become a living testimony that I am the restorer of paths, the opener of ways, and the giver of the breath of life. Rest in this. Do not strive to make it happen. Simply yield to the fact that it is happening. The life within you is not a product of your effort, but a gift of my grace. Stay in the stillness of my love, for in that stillness, the most profound miracles are fashioned. I see the way you look at that third bedroom, the one with the door you keep closed to keep the heartache from leaking out into the rest of the house. I see the stacks of books on your nightstand, titles about hope, titles about biology, titles you read until your eyes blurred and the words lost all meaning. You have tried to protect your heart by building walls of logic around your longing, but I am the one who walks through walls. I am moving through the hallway of your home right now, trailing the scent of spring rain and new earth. I am breathing upon the dormant seeds of your expectations. Do you remember that afternoon by the lake, when the wind was so cold it bit through your coat, and you asked me in a whisper if I had forgotten your name? I was there, carving your name into the palms of my hands with even greater clarity. I was watching the way you reached out to touch the water, a silent plea for the flow of life to return to your own story. That plea did not fall on deaf ears. I am painting a new horizon over the landscape of your marriage. Think of the garden you planted last summer, the one where the frost came too early and the lilies bowed their heads in defeat. You thought the soil was spent, that the earth had turned its back on you. But beneath the frozen surface, I was working in the dark, preparing the nutrients, softening the clay for a season you could not yet imagine. This child will be like those lilies, rising not because the conditions were perfect, but because I am the Lord of the harvest. I am watching the way you interact now, the cautious glances, the way you touch each other's hands with a tenderness born of shared battle. You are no longer the same people who walked into this wilderness years ago. You have been refined. The impatience that once burned like a fever has been replaced by a steady, quiet strength. I am weaving this strength into the very character of the soul I am sending to you. This child will carry your resilience. They will have your eyes, yes, but they will also have the depth of spirit that only comes from parents who have learned to wait upon the Lord. I am even now overseeing the architecture of this new life. I am the master weaver, interlacing the threads of your lineage, selecting the traits that will make this child a light to their generation. I am choosing the way their laughter will sound, a bright, bell-like ring that will shatter the remnants of this heavy silence. I am designing the way they will sleep, with a peace that passes understanding, a peace they inherited from the very struggle you are currently enduring. Do not look at the calendar with dread anymore. The days are no longer markers of your failure. They are the rhythmic heartbeats of my timing. Every sunset brings you closer to the morning when the test will finally reflect the truth I have already spoken over you. I am preparing your hands to hold what they have only ever known in dreams. I am strengthening your back for the weight of a growing belly and eventually the weight of a child who will look to you for the meaning of the word love. I am also touching your finances, your resources, and the practical details of your life. I am the God of the how, and I am aligning the circumstances so that when this gift arrives, you will have more than enough to provide, to nurture, and to celebrate. You will find that the things that once seemed like mountains, the costs, the space, the career timing, will flatten into a plain before you. I am clearing the path. I am the one who makes a way where there is no way. When you walk into the grocery store tomorrow and you see the aisles of colorful toys and soft blankets, do not turn away in pain. Look at them with the eyes of an heir. Look at them and say in your spirit, "My Father is preparing a table for me." The sting of envy is being replaced by the warmth of anticipation. I am healing the way you see other families. Soon, you will not look at them from the outside, but as a member of the same joyful circle. I am dissolving the bitterness that tried to take root in your soul during the seasons of not yet. I am pouring the oil of joy into those dry places. Feel the shift in the atmosphere of your home. The air feels lighter, does it not? The shadows in the corners are retreating. This is because my presence is saturating your dwelling place, making it a sanctuary for the life that is coming. This child will be a child of the sanctuary, a child born of prayer and sustained by the manifest goodness of God. I am speaking to your body, the temple I designed. I am saying to every organ, every hormone, every microscopic process, align with the word of the Father. I am the great physician, and I am performing a surgery of the spirit, removing the scars of past disappointments. I am making your womb a garden of delights, a place of safety, a place of miraculous growth. You will marvel at the way your body knows exactly what to do, guided by the ancient wisdom I encoded into your being at the dawn of time. There is a specific song I am putting in your heart, a melody of thanksgiving that will be the first thing this child hears. It is a song that tells the story of how the desert blossomed, how the dry bones lived, and how the God who hears the cry of the humble answered with a thundering yes. Stay in this place of yieldedness. Let the tears come if they must, but let them be tears of release, not of despair. The transition from barrenness to fruitfulness is a sacred transition, and I am holding you through every second of it. You are not alone in the waiting. I am the one waiting with you, holding the gift just behind the veil, waiting for the perfect moment to let it break through into your reality. The dawn is not just coming. It has already begun to break the line of the trees, and the light is closer than you think. I see you, daughter, standing in that room where the sunlight hits the floorboards at 3 in the afternoon, the room you've kept closed for so long, the one intended for a life that hasn't yet arrived. I am opening the windows today. I am letting the air of heaven circulate through the corners where dust and disappointment have gathered like shadows. You have touched the tiny, folded garments in the back of your drawer, the ones you bought in a moment of brave hope years ago, and then hid away because the sight of them stung like an open wound. Take them out. Hold them to your face. Let the fabric breathe once more. I am breathing into them the scent of milk, of newness, and of the morning dew. My hands are moving over the intricate landscape of your anatomy, turning the winter-hardened soil of your reproductive system into soft, fertile earth. Think of the lilies, how they neither toil nor spin, yet I clothe them in a majesty that outshines kings. How much more will I clothe your life with the fruit of your deepest longing? I am adjusting the rhythm of your pulse to match the lullaby I have already written for this little one, a cadence of peace that will soothe their spirit before they even see the light of day. Every tear you shed over a negative result, every quiet sob into your pillow in the middle of the night, was a seed I gathered in my bottle, and now those seeds are germinating in the secret place. You felt a quickening in your spirit today, didn't you? It wasn't just your imagination. It was the resonance of a heartbeat that does not yet exist in the physical realm, but is already thundering in my presence. I am the God of the 11th hour, the God who waits until the strength of the flesh has reached its limit, so that the radiant glory of the Spirit might be revealed without question. I am looking at the calendar of your life, the one I wrote before the foundations of the world, and I am circling a date that you do not yet know. A date that will forever be marked in your family history as the day the impossible became your everyday reality. Your body is no longer a graveyard of dreams or a monument to what failed. It is a sacred laboratory of life, a vessel of my creative power. I am recalibrating the very chemistry of your blood, infusing it with the joy that is your strength. Can you feel the warmth spreading through your midsection? That is my hand, resting there, marking this territory as my own. No longer will you be called forsaken, nor will your legacy be called desolate. Your new name is My Delight is in Her, and the Mother of Promise. I am speaking to the silent places in your home, the hallways that have felt too quiet, echoing only with the sound of your own sighs. Soon, those very walls will vibrate with the patter of feet and the high, bright sound of laughter that breaks the chains of generations. I am healing the heritage of your bloodline, washing away the patterns of lack, and replacing them with a legacy of abundance that will flow down to your children's children. Your husband's heart, too, is being prepared in the furnace of my love. I am softening the calluses of his own secret grief, making him a pillar of strength, a protector for the season ahead. You will look at each other and see not the ghosts of what might have been, but the vibrant, breathing reality of what I am doing in your midst. This is not a dream you will wake up from. This is the reality you are waking up into. I am moving with surgical precision, like a master weaver pulling a golden thread through a dark fabric, creating a pattern of such beauty that it will take your breath away. Every stitch is intentional. Every delay you endured was not a denial, but a deepening of the well so that it could hold more of the water of life when the rains finally came. You have been a woman of sorrows, familiar with the ache of empty arms, but you are becoming a mother of nations. The shadow of the almond tree is falling across your path, a sign of the early blooming, the first tree to wake in the spring. Watch the way the wind moves through the trees today. It is the breath of my spirit, clearing the way for the miracle. Do not look back at the years the locusts have eaten or the cycles that ended in blood and tears. Look forward, for the fields are white for harvest. I am making your body a temple of peace, where stress has no dominion and fear has no seat at the table. I am quieting the voices of the doctors and the statistics that whispered, never. My voice is the only one that matters, and I am saying, forever. Your womb is being fortified, its walls made strong and resilient to carry the weight of a glory that will change your world. I am tending to the microscopic details, the cellular communication, the hormonal balance, ensuring that every part of you is in perfect symphony. You are being prepared to hold a miracle that is not just a child, but a testimony of my faithfulness. Rest, my child. Rest in the profound knowledge that I am the author of life, and I am currently writing a chapter that will make your heart skip with wonder. The ink is permanent, the promise is sure, and the author is unfailingly faithful. I am standing at the threshold of your future, beckoning you to step out of the shadows and into the warmth of my fulfillment. This child will be a sign to many, a living proof that I am the God who hears. As you go about your day, feel the lightness in your step. It is the weight of grief being lifted and replaced by the buoyancy of expectation. The cradle of your arms is already being filled by my grace, and soon, very soon, the physical weight of your miracle will be the sweetest burden you have ever carried.